ain't nothing like hitting the Waffle House up in the dungeon before you get your day going. But I want you to watch this video right here. There's something I saw about 3 years ago. Me and a friend of mine, with his own authority, we was gonna team up and do government freight. But at the time, it just didn't look good because the awards that were, the tenders that were being given out to people that were winning these loads, it just didn't make any sense. So I want you to listen to this video. Remember, now, we saw this 3 years ago. Freightways just had an interview with somebody recently, and they saw this. Look at that big boy toy right there. Fresh. Anyway, I bet Nomad. I wonder this Nomad. Now people want to know who Nomad is. This is my assumption of Nomad. I saw an article on Freightways recently about the DOD and drivers getting loads, running loads, and they can't deliver the loads because they're not U.S. citizens and things like that. Now, I've delivered a load for U.S. citizens that couldn't get on bases. One of them was my subscribers. I think they paid me like $700 cash money, and then Landstar gave me whatever. And he was like, I appreciate it. I appreciate the information you gave me. This was years ago. But anyway, I was on the DOD and was looking at the loads on their system, right? And this is one of my partners. He wanted me to, get down with him because he knows I know a thing or two about dealing with the government loads and things like that. And then I told him there's certain things I can't do because we're two different motor carriers. You carry the bond, I don't, and you don't want to get in trouble with that. You don't want to be in trouble with the government. But as I was looking at all these loads, we got Landstar, Mercer, Great Wide, all these big boys can't get these loads. But this one company called Nomad has over 100 plus loads on their site. Won all the bids. See, they show you who won the bids. My theory was these dudes are getting the loads. I think they're Hey Buddies of Vlad, taking the loads, taking taking MCs from people that they bought, flipping them into brokers from truck companies, and putting these loads out, giving them to people, robbing people. If it ain't them, it's somebody else. I find it kind of strange that a company by that name cannot be seen on the road or not even on the load board. The DOD, y'all done messed up. Y'all got somebody here taking your loads, just giving them to anybody and probably not paying them, and they're getting rich.
With the DoD freight, it was brought to my attention that some nefarious things were going on. And so I got a list of or quite a few of the approved carriers with the DoD. And when I started looking into them, these are carriers that are accepting awards for loads. It's like 16 loads to be moved over 2 days, and the trip is 300 miles, and they have one truck. Like, come on. Who's doing this and why are they doing it? So when I started looking into it, other than just looking at the number of trucks they have and realizing this is impossible, they can't actually move this freight, they also own a freight brokerage. And so they're accepting this DoD freight as the trucking company, and then they're brokering it out, which in theory, normal freight, whatever, it gets moved, I guess. I might retract that statement later. But with DoD freight, those freight brokerages that they own, those aren't the companies approved with the DoD. It's just their trucking company. And so the DoD thinks they're giving freight to a trucking company that's approved, and they're not. Or so they are, but then they're brokering it.
That's crazy to me because anyone that's gone and got a real ID or gone after government freight, there's a lot of checks and balances put into those systems. But then I can go move DoD freight, and they don't want to know who the end user is that's moving it. Like,
Yeah.
you're not talking like I'm moving just rolls of paper. I could be moving electronics. I could be moving weapons. I could be moving ordnance. There's a lot of different things that can be compromised in that process, in that specific supply chain. And we're not scrutinizing heavily what carriers, and even I'd even offer to say go further into which drivers are moving that freight.
So you tell me, there's companies like that on the DOD that's approved carriers, but you've never seen their trucks? You've never seen them on a load board? Again, those people that be on Facebook buying people MCs all over the place, and you dummies that sell the MCs as truck companies, this is what happens. They get flipped into brokerages. Companies like that hold the clearance to get the loads, take them and put them on the board under these used to be truck companies, which you can go and switch into a brokerage, and they put them on the board. That's the same thing happens with Amazon. That's what happens. That's the game. But people don't pay attention to that stuff, you know, because they just worry about getting a load. This is the type of fraud and the type of destruction that is happening in the trucking industry when it comes down to freight.